Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Watch. I am somebody's mama, and sitting with me is
me, Jake.
That's Jake. I'm Jake's mom, and we're here at We Watch, rewatching the HBO smash Game of Thrones. A little aside, I, Jake's mom, have seen Game of Thrones when all the rage was Game of Thrones, right? And Jake has not, Jake has seen about how many episodes? Four? Three? Yeah, three. Yeah, he's seen 3 episodes or so. And we had a little epiphany that maybe we should take these moments to see how our sensibilities are alike and or different. But we'll give you a little bit of the background after I do some house rules. So over here at We Watch, we want you to know that we, meaning me or my co-hosts, are not experts. I did not read these books. I have no intention on reading these books. I am a casual viewer, more or less a Game of Thrones enthusiast. Okay? If you're looking for somebody who's about to give you all of those books, it's like those books are like the Bible, and I barely read the Bible, so no. I don't have time. Energy. No. I'll just wait if that man wants to write the rest. But I'm good where we are. Because watching Game of Thrones was an amazing experience for me, even though it pissed me off at the end. Spoiler alert. Speaking of spoiler alerts, if you have not seen Game of Thrones, this is a perfect place for you. Or if you've seen it, it is as well. But just know that I'm going to try my best to be spoiler free as we watch these episodes. Now, it's your fault if you come over here and we're on episode 6 and you haven't seen 5, 4, 3. Don't do that. Okay? So that's just common sense because we're in a new age of TV, which is another thing that we want to take advantage of because we're in a different age and people are not just children, people are different. We got past the pandemic, so our sensibilities have changed. So this is actually kind of an experiment in kind of how things are different or maybe the same. I don't know. How sometimes Jake and I speak different languages, And so I'm going to learn some new words. He may learn some new words, and this is going to prevent him from being a robot or being taken advantage of an old robot because I want him to have free thought. Right, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And of course, Jake is at the age where he's a teenage boy that speaks in grunts and one-word sentences, but I think he's an awesome communicator when he gets his head in the game. So that's the first thing. We're not experts over here. Go over. There are plenty of Westerosi things that you can go look at. It could give you a whole. Go to Reddit. Go somewhere else if you're looking for experts. That's not why we're here. We're here to experience Game of Thrones. Second thing, I kind of have a potty mouth a little bit. So if you are adverse to cussing or cursing a little bit, might not be the spot for you. Now, I am not someone who's just out here just using words in just for words' sake. I use them when they're appropriate, right? Or as you can probably tell by now, I'm the more expressive of us two. Now, Jake, let's be clear, will not be using cuss words because I do have morals. I mean, I'm a woman of the South as well. And I have some sensibilities about myself. So no, Jake won't be using the words, okay? All right? But if you and whomever you're listening with does not like that, you probably don't need to participate because I am not going to be responsible. Also, I know that my child is still a child. He's 16, right? I know for sure that this series has adult themes, adult consequences, adult nudity, all the adult things. If you don't like that, Don't discuss it with your child. Do not get in these comments and tell me, y'all already know, right? Just don't do it. And then that leads me to the last thing. I promise you it's not going to be a whole lot of rules. This is another thing. Me and my baby are just getting used to this technical stuff. We're going to learn this, and we hope that you all grow with us as we grow in this new space. However, when you're down there talking, please understand, he is my son. He is still a child. If you don't like what he has to say, or if you have something to say about him, you know what you can do? You can just turn it off. Now, he gets on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? But I can't turn him off. But you know what you can do before you decide to write anything about my baby down in the comments? You could just go ahead and log off, okay? He's learning just like the rest of us, okay? So, with that all being said, Jake, hey, this makes me so happy. You gonna do it for real?
Yes.
Really? So yes, Jake, who is a man of few words, but I promise you are going to go love him because he's a man of depth, he has deep thoughts. So Jake, let's get a little bit of background and tell us why you're here today.
Well, like you said, we had an epiphany. We were watching one of the episodes. He said we should document the moments. So that's why we're here. And then I wanted to start watching this show because I remember when I was a kid or when I was younger, like I couldn't watch Game of Thrones and he would be in there having fun watching it, and I knew it was an adult, so I couldn't watch it. So I'm finally at the age where I could watch it. So it's good that I could experience it, and you can experience it again.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. That made me smile because, again, I don't know. I'm not necessarily a TV person. As a matter of fact, when Game of Thrones came out, I wasn't even interested in whatever genre this is, which is now named fantasy or whatever this may be, right? And a little bit of me, I saw it. I think when it came out, I was behind, but I wasn't behind. I was only behind like 3 episodes. So I was listening to a podcast. Shout out to my sister who introduced me to podcasts. I listened to something faithfully that shall remain nameless because I don't know if they want me to put them out there like that. But she introduced me to podcasts, and one of the recommendations on this podcast was Game of Thrones. So I landed right here, and it's been a ride ever since. I did not know at the time that I would be a part of a cultural phenomenon. I guess that's what it was at that time. But I mean, it was just a great experience. And I'm glad we're back here almost over 10 years later, re-experiencing it again, together. And I like to see how my sensibilities have changed and how his sensibilities have changed. And if, we may learn a little thing about one another. Maybe I'll learn something about him that I didn't want to know. I don't know. But if you're here, please go ahead. And what do they have to do down there?
Hit like and subscribe. Hit that notification, post notifications button, and yeah.
Do all those things like you just said. Okay. Got you. So, Jake, let's go. You ready? So we got those ground rules out. We got a little bit of background. We're getting to know, hopefully the people are getting to know us a little bit. So we're going to start with episode 1 of season 1, titled Winter is Coming. Now, what I'm going to do to give you a little bit of a debriefing of what to expect, we have a loose format here, I guess. Some things that we're definitely going to touch on. You all know for sure let's get this out of the way. We will not be going through this scene by scene, because who has time for that? You're here for the main squeezes and the things that we see fit, right? And you know, this generation, our attention spans are not that long anyway. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do a little, I'm going to give you a summary of what HBO tells us we're looking at. I'm going to give you my major talking points, how I saw things in a little summary, and Jacob is going to tell you how he saw things in a little bit of a summary. And you may get a few hot takes in between, and you may learn a new language, because I'm going to speak in Mama, and he going to speak in Jake. That can land anyway. Then we're going to come back and jump back on the couch and talk like mom and son about a few things that we like and dislike about this season. And then there'll be a few surprises in between. So without further ado, I'm going to read what HBO said. And I quote, Lord Ed Stark is troubled by disturbing reports from a Night's Watch deserter. King Robert arrives at Winterfell. Dun, dun, dun. So, let me tell you how this appeared to me. And let's do this in Mama summary. And when I say Mama talk, I'm not necessarily talking about, I mean proverbial mamas, meaning the mamas that are not necessarily raising children, but they got somebody, just the mamas, the hot mamas, the grandmamas, just the mamas. Everybody got a little mama in them. So when I speak this, just understand you are of a generation. Every mama knows who I'm talking about when I say mama. So if you don't understand it, maybe Jacob can explain it a little bit better. But my summary goes a little bit like this. We open up with these men on horses riding past some huge, it looked like a snowstorm to me, but then when you pull this thing out, it was like it was a wall, just a white wall with a bunch of snow around it. I don't know. They went out there. They didn't tell us why they were going out there. They went into some woods. When they got into these woods, which is something, this almost made me turn the TV off. But there was some type of zombie things in the woods that chased these things off. And long story of the shortest is that eventually some of them got eaten up or beaten up or something up. And then this man that was left over, he ran as far as he could, and he ran into some place called Winterfell. It looked like a kingdom. It looked kind of dreary to me, but I don't know anything about this world, so do what you can. Whomever this deserter is, he comes across the people named the Starks, girl. They are the king. The Starks run Winterfell, this little kingdom. That's what I gathered. This is me watching it. So when we get there, this quote unquote deserter runs into Ned Stark, who is the king of this kingdom, I guess. Ned Stark is out here with all of his boy sons, that's redundant, right? He's out here with his sons, looking up this deserter up and down. Side note, that deserter, he deserted a toothbrush and all. He was looking very, very rough. I just happened to notice that this time.
Stuff on his lips.
Yeah, he had stuff on his lips. His teeth. Did you see his? Yeah, it was kind of rough. Don't look too close if you don't really. But that just stuck out to me this time. So anyway, they obviously, whenever you're a deserter, you're supposed to stay over there no matter what happens until you die, I guess. So it didn't. He was going to lose anyway, because when he left the wall, Ned, who we're supposed to think is admirable or noble, chops his head off. Don't understand it.
But I mean, that's part of the tradition though. So
that's fine.
It's as noble as it could. See, it wouldn't be noble if he didn't do it.
That's true, and we're going to discuss that as soon as I finish with mine. As soon as I finish, I know he can't. As soon as I finish my summary, but you're right. And then they chop his head off, and then he's running back and like, close your eyes because this is a gross scene too. It's like a wolf, the biggest wolf. It's like a bear wolf, if you ask me. It has these babies or whatever. They don't know where they came from, and wink, wink. Ned Stark has 5 kids. The Starks. right? They're the stars. We come to find out, oh, well, 6 kids because, girl, Ned got an outside baby. And he's not a baby anymore. He's a grown man. But when we go back into the kingdom, they found these wolves. They name a wolf after all of the Stark children. John gets to run. He's a cute little puppy dog. His name is Snow. I don't know. The only thing, I don't know the name of these dogs yet. You all are going to have to look it up. If you want to drop down in there and let us know. I'm sure we already know by now. But how I'm walking in here, I only know the Stark. The Stark children are Rob, Stanza, Arya. Oh, she's a G. Brandon, as his mom calls it. Climbing around everywhere, getting on his mama's nerves. I don't know about that. And then Lil Rinkin. I never understood how to say his name. Oh, and like I said, once again, John, but his last name ain't even Stark. He just Jon Snow. How disrespectful is that to just name somebody what look like that's anyway. Catelyn don't like him. That's the mama. She don't really like him, and she makes that abundantly clear. She real dry. I don't know if I rock with her that much, but hey, we don't know these people like that yet. Okay, so meantime, while we getting to know these kids, Ned's best friend sent him he texted him or he sent him some type of raven, however they communicated back in the day, and said he's on his way to come and see him. Girl, come to find out his best friend is the owner of not the owner, but the king of the biggest kingdom in the kingdom. I don't know how this rolls yet because some of this stuff I never did figure out. But here we are. Anyway.
The capital.
Here you go. The capital. You got it. It was the capital. The capital, he's the head of the capital. And clearly he's coming down there, and Ned is just suspicious when he's talking to his wife, Cat. If that dude is coming over here, you're not coming up here for nothing. And I don't know what the big secret was, which we found out in the end, is that he wanted this man to come and be his first assistant and just leave his whole family and all this wife and these kids up here and come and do his thing. Oh, anyway, Ned, it doesn't seem like he really did ask him. He just told Ned he was going to do it. And Ned just went ahead. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that went on in the background. Since this is a summary, I'm going to move on. And we're going to go over there. Well, first of all, the man showed up. A little robust, little round man jumped out. And we learned these people to be King Robert, Tyrion, which is his brother-in-law. The imp. Listen, these are words that they say. We don't use that word anymore. But yeah, Tyrion the imp, okay? A set of twins, Cersei and Jaime. But Cersei is married to this King Robert, but he is a thirst trapping for somebody who ain't even here no more. Later. Anyway, so now they get here. We're going to go over this place called the Narrow Sea, and it was an island over there. What was the name of that island? Let me see, girl. The name of that island was Bentos. We go over this water. It looked pretty over there, too. It would be the place that I would want to stay. But whoever, these two kids that we ran into, Viserys and Daenerys, those are cute names. But we get over there, and Viserys and Daenerys is looking like they want to leave. It's beautiful. I don't know. I wouldn't want to leave. But clearly we got some incestuous things going on because these two white-haired people, I don't know. She looked like a baby, and her brother had her naked right there. If you, it's kind of, you're gonna have to get used to a little bit of incestuous things on here. That's all I got for you. Just move on. So now, Viserys, who was the older brother, said he need to go back over here and get something that belongs to him. I don't know how that works because I just got here again. This man sold his baby sister to clearly some savages. I don't know why these people were savages like that for no reason at all. They were savage just to be savage because it was supposed to be a wedding. They were out here with this savage, and then a man who I found so attractive, but I know he's a bad man. Let me get it right here. He's a R-wordist, but him and his people were beautiful brown people, and I should not like him. But anyway, the brother said that they needed them people to come and help him take the kingdom back. So he sold his little sister, and he's so rude. I don't like him at all. Anyway, we going back over here. Anyway, we're gonna go back over to King's Landing because this is the end, girl. This is the end. This is what got me, girl, because that middle stuff was a little boring. But child, Bran, remember I told you the little boy climb everywhere all the time? Climbing. Child, remember I told you about Cersei and Jamie? They were twins. Bran done climbed up there on the top of this castle like his mama done told him, which was foreshadowing, right? Stop climbing everywhere. This man climbs up there and commences to see Cersei and Jamie getting it in. And when I say getting it in, it was no mistake. I mean, growling. They were in there. And Bran just couldn't stay. He just had to look. He just couldn't. He's 10. He's supposed to be 10. I don't know how 10-year-olds were back then. But anyway, he was right there looking. Right? And this what got me, girl. They said these people were twins. So this is twincest. This is ridiculous. But let me tell you what was on top of that. Jamie pushes this little boy out the window with a pure D smile on his face. And that was it. That had me. And I'm so happy. We'll talk about that later, but that's my mama's summary. So now Jacob may not be as loquacious, but I just like to hear his hot take on this. Anyway, he's probably going to be talking above us, above our heads. So just try to follow.
Well, you said my hot take.
Your summary.
The summary. So we start out by seeing this giant ice wall, and this kind of throws me off because like I'm thinking Game of Thrones is about to be like some medieval show like story. But the ice is confusing at first, and I didn't think that's what it's about to be about. So, then they cut to these dudes in the forest, like in a tundra, like with snow everywhere, and he's walking, not minding his business. Mind you, I don't even know why they're out there in the first place, but he walks and sees like human flesh in this weird trigram, weird. And then he goes back to his bros. Who he's out there with on the horses and stuff. And he's like, come look what I just found. And when he gets there, it's gone. So then he's like, oh, it's just here. So then when his bros, he looked in the snow, and he finds what did he find? Like some human body part.
I don't know, some guts. I don't know what that was. I wasn't looking. I wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was weird. And then he's like, "What is it?" And then he looks behind his other bro who he out there with, and behind him is like this blue-eyed zombie looking thing, a creature. I don't even know what it was, but then they run, and they're getting chased, and at this point I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I thought this was supposed to be about kings and queens and stuff, not like ice zombies. So, and it was kind of scary. It wasn't scary, but it was just, I'm surprised. It's not what it's supposed to be about. But yeah, so they all scatter and run every which way, and after that, it cuts back. We see the deserter walking in Winterfell. Or did we see him walking at first, or did they introduce the family at first? No, they introduced the family first.
They did. We saw them.
Yeah, so they cut to the family. It's 5 children. The Stark children, and we see Kat, Ned's wife, and Ned. And so yeah, after that, what happens after that? Oh yeah, they say they come to Ned and say the deserter had deserted, he's like, and they all look grim, so I know something's about to happen to deserter. So they go to him and they put his head and they talk to him about deserting. And they did say it was punishable by death, but I don't think I heard that at first, so I was surprised when they couldn't. But they put his head in like this tree stump with a split in it. Now I already knew it was finna happen. So he started pleading his case. He's saying he didn't desert. Then I felt kind of bad because he was telling the truth.
He was.
He was telling the truth, but
he was good.
He got his head chopped off. So
he did get his head chopped off.
And that's death like that in the first 10 minutes of the show. It's kind of crazy. But yeah. So yeah, after that, the family, Ned and his sons, they go out to do something, and they're in the forest, and by the water they find these like wolves. They find these direwolves, and the mom is already dead, and like it's all pups just like trying to survive. They're already out there. So they see the wolves, and at first he's like, kill them all, and then John, thinking smart, he saves them, and he's like, there's 5 of them, and there's 5 Stark children, so you all get a wolf. Well, they all get a wolf, and then he goes up, and then he finds the runt, like somewhere in the forest, but he finds a runt, and it's white, and so they all take them back to the castle. Now the girls didn't say they wanted the wolves, but they got them anyway. So I guess that's cool. Like having a wolf back then, and then it was it was adorable. So
it was adorable. That's funny. Go ahead.
After that, we see the king, and they arrive. Like they are overly deep. Like it's nights and stuff. They be like it's nights and stuff. See the family. You see the twins, Cersei and Jaime. You see the imp Tyrion, the
imp, not pimp.
Yeah, imp. But so before that, they say the king, like they announced that everybody's coming. So I like to see them, like I like to see that they were in there. They was cleaning up the castle, making sure everything was all tidy. Yeah, they did. They can make it good, and they didn't want to look dirty in front of the king. That's true. So the king, they finally get there, and like I said, they finally get there, and they arrive. They are deep, and
they were deep.
At first we see Arya. She's trying to. That's how I know something. Like she's not like a regular girl. Because when we also seen her at first, she was doing a little knitting, like activity with all the women, and she was like she wasn't really messing with it. But then to see, I knew she was gonna like be something later on. Because when the kingdom arrived, like she was out there. She had on the helmet, the night helmet. So she like, all right, yeah. So
she's that girl.
Yeah, they got there. Then at first I'm like, who is the king? Like, I'm thinking somebody else is the king. Like I didn't know this big man Baratheon, Robert Baratheon, as we know now. I didn't know he was gonna be. I didn't know he would be the king. He's not really a king.
He's not kingly.
He's not a king-like figure. I would see as
yeah.
But we see him. He get off the horse. He talking about Ned, you've got fat. Like, what is he talking about? Like, he's literally fat.
Yeah.
But that was funny. That was a good little piece of comedy. And another thing I like, Catherine, in the first 20 minutes of the show that I've seen, the first part of the show, I like to see that she like every time she's in the scene, she has like she acts with her face, and her like you can see even when she's not talking, like, you see what she's thinking, you see what she, and that's how we know she don't really like
Jon Snow.
Yeah, Jon Snow like that. But yeah, so Kingdom arrived. I think they're preparing for this big feast.
Yeah, when the king comes. Yeah, go ahead and finish because we're going to touch on the points after you finish your summary. But that's all what you got. That's all you got.
Yeah. They come. So then after they get there, they cut to these white haired people, and there's 2 white haired people, and they're in a different biome. Like it looks
a great
different.
Word. Biome is a
like
good word.
It's hot where they at.
Yeah,
so you could tell it's far away, and then it's cold where
the wall is.
Yeah, where the wall is, where we just went Winterfell, where we just came from. So that was kind of cool. And then So yeah, they cut to them, and this man with his sister. It's kind of weird. I mean, he's talking about like, I don't know, man, no, he's
But
weird.
now he is talking to one of his friends when he says it like that.
But,
I don't know if he can say what he would say to the way to his friends that he can't say it to me. I'm sure, but yeah, that's what you got.
Yeah. But yeah, he's talking about he loves her, he loves his sister and stuff. But what he's doing to her is kind of weird. It doesn't seem like he love her, but he might. I don't know. It's just weird, but yo, we see her getting the hot tub, and the lady say it's too hot. So it was steaming in there. If I was just calmly just walking in there, floating around in there. So, man, I guess that's showing us something.
Something, yeah, something.
But,
it is. Great hot take, literal hot take.
So after that, they go to where she was. Was it that Viserys talking to somebody? He was talking. I think he was talking to
It's okay if you don't know all these names. You could just you can just move because I'm gonna say this. Well, go ahead and finish because I'm gonna say something when you're done. Go ahead. We're almost there.
So yeah, he sells her off to get to take back his throne, or what they say to be as the rightful throne since his dad died. I don't know. But so at the end, at the end after that, they catch Bran climbs up the castle at Winterfell, and he sees Jaime and Cersei like my mom said, getting it on. That's weird because they twins. It's kind of weird. It's the second weird thing that I've seen this episode. So, man, pretty weird show. I think it's pretty weird. Gonna be a weird show going forward. Because this episode 1, but yeah.
Okay, y'all give it up for my baby. Yay. Okay, I didn't say this either. Listen, I'm going to say this to him. These names and shit, just listen. That man over there, because I know right now I'm looking at this episode and I swear to God, somebody can drop down in the box and this may be showing my age. There's a man in here and I know that I'm supposed to know his name, but you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. He looks just like Gargamel from the Smurfs. Y'all remember Gargamel? And he's one of the Meisters. I don't know his name. And I'm just saying that to say, they say the books are way denser, but don't worry about it if you can't catch all of these names. And I also want to let you know that you did exceptionally well for it to be your first recap. That's very good. Very good. So what we're going to do now is just we're not going to go through each scene, but we're just going to give our thoughts on, well, first of all, how do you feel about the episode itself? Just this episode, not the series so far, but the episode.
I feel like it was a great opening episode. It showed us many foreshadowing things for the future, and yeah.
How do you feel about it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it compelled me to watch more. So
yeah, I was the same. I think when I watched it the first time,
like after he fell, after Jamie pushed him off the thing, I had to see what happened next.
That's what happened to me. Yeah. That's what happened. I was like, it got kind of like, okay, now I almost turned it off when I saw those zombie things in them.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like if he falls, then he dies and they get caught, or not they get caught, but like there's a reason.
I didn't know, but see, that's what caught me because in the middle, as far as how I felt about the episode, in the middle of the episode, it got, I guess, when I'm looking back at it now, I appreciate it. But I remember the first time I looked at it, like in the middle, it got kind of long and
yeah, but it was good. It was greatly summed up at the end, like they put it together.
Right, and at the end, and luckily because it was I had already had 3 that I needed to watch 3 episodes. I don't know what if I had done what I would have done if I had to wait. So I got the immediate gratification of figuring out what happened when he got pushed out the window. So I just pressed the next episode. Mm-hmm. But that's when it had me. And I don't think anybody who's watching it, as far as binging it, I don't think anybody could go to episode 1 and not just immediately watch 2. Now, when I look back at it, when I'm looking at the first time, I don't remember these people. I just used to call them by what they look like to me. And so you did pretty well just then, knowing names. And I'm going to applaud you for that. So that's pretty good. That's how I felt about the actual episode, was that it was kind of long and kind of dense in the middle, but I understand that they had to explain a lot of things because the material itself is dense. So luckily I got to watch this in a binge fashion, at least the first 3 episodes. So the Starks, what do you think about the Starks and the Direwolf kind of? Do you remember the Direwolves? Do you remember their names?
Oh, no.
Yeah. You remember the Stark kids? You have any thoughts or ideas about the Stark kids? You got a favorite?
Let me see. My
so far,
favorite probably Bran.
Yeah.
Then Arya. then Sansa.
Yeah. You like Sansa? You like Sansa better than Rob?
Yeah, I don't even like Rob.
That's wild. All right.
Cause he was talking crazy. Like, I don't know. He said some slick drink in the beginning. I think I remember him saying something.
What about Jon?
Jon.
Technically, he's not a Stark though.
Oh, Jon Snow. Oh yeah. See, he would have been like up top. What?
You're talking into.
Oh yeah. But he would have been like in the top rankings. But he's not a Stark kid. I like Jon. He cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he cool.
All right. So listen, you said this thing the other day. We're gonna talk on this too. So when the king, Robert, comes into Winterfell, and Bran, well, that was the point. I think they were trying to just show us that Bran, it was another instance where we had to see that Bran loves to climb and how far he would climb. So he sees him from a vantage point. So listen, before we did meet Jaime and Cersei before we got into Winterfell. I just thought about that because we went to King's Landing, which is where they are from, the capital, as you said.
The king died,
right, and that was a little bit of a piece that we got too. Now, when I first watched it, that kind of went over my head, but we saw someone laying what we would call these days in state, is when when somebody dies and they display for you to come and pay your respects or what have you. We did meet Jaime and Cersei, and they told us, number one, I didn't know what they were talking about, right? Because Jaime was asking her, why are you so nervous and what's going on? And she said, I think that this person, whomever died, was going to tell. And he's like, well, their person is dead now, so they're not going to tell.
So they're already hiding the secret.
Right, but you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, at the end of the episode, we know what it was.
That's why it was great writing, though, right?
Yeah.
That was like, but I didn't know what they were talking. They put it right there that even when you're talking about it or when you're summarizing it, you forget about that scene. You do forget about that scene. So yeah, the Stark kids, each of them have and there's a lot of symbolism that goes on through here. And I know that we have Game of Thrones enthusiasts, and I'm sure you can Reddit them and they can tell you about all of the symbolism. Me and my baby don't necessarily, even that can go over my head, but I do like the sigils. And ironically, the symbolism rolls through here because the Stark sigil has a wolf.
What the Lannisters have, like
I think the Lannisters are lions, I think. And they're gold lions, yeah. And so yeah, and I do like, I'm not into medieval wear, but I do like some of the fits that I see. And you can tell who has money, who has the coins. You definitely can tell who has the coins. So yeah, you have any thoughts about the Lannisters?
I think Dude, they look good at first, but like towards the end, I see that they're actually like a messed up family. Like it's actually crazy, but yeah, I think, but I like Robert Baratheon though. He seems like the only one that's on track, but the Lannisters, well Tyrion too. He seems like he's smart. Like you could already tell that from the first episode. Like, but the
Yeah, it
twins,
was something real like cool about Tyrion the first time. And we also neglected to say there's another piece of this puzzle too. That Robert Baratheon clearly dated Ned's sister. And let me tell you how Cersei is so, I mean, I don't blame Cersei, right?
mm-hmm.
Because this man got off of that horse fresh off out these streets and asked Ned to take him to this lady's crib. I mean, where did they do that?
Crazy. And then she kind of felt the way. She was like, we just got here.
We just, yeah, she did. He didn't even wash his ass or nothing. Nothing. But, you know, we learned to, I call Rob the ultimate frat boy because
all he do is drink and party and, yeah.
And he said that's what he was going to do.
Yeah, he said that's what he need. He need Ned to go there and keep him.
So he prophesied, right? He said, "I'm going to just drink and fuck whatever," and took himself to death,
and
right?
Then they also cut to where they was having a feast. Robert was down there on this other lady, and then he was down there on this other lady, or talking and dancing, frolicking with this other lady.
Frolicking.
And then they cut to Cersei, and she was looking mad.
Yeah,
just looking disgusted, but she don't really care no way. Like she got her own thing going on, bro.
She does have her own thing going on, bro.
But she still look like embarrassed because he's doing that in front of her.
Yeah,
and it's in front of mixed company.
Face a lot, yeah. All these folks. He was shaming her, yeah. So yeah, that's the other. And I also had a thing where something always struck me about we don't call Cersei her Baratheon. That just, you know what I'm saying? She's married to Robert Baratheon. We still call her Cersei.
But she a Lannister though. Like that's their family.
That's crazy, right? But aren't you supposed? It's just like
so would it when
Catelyn is
they say Sansa's supposed to marry Joffrey. Would she keep their name when she
you will become that family just like you would just like
she'll
now.
Be Sansa Lannister.
Patriarchy 101. Yeah.
So
but no, because she's supposed to be Sansa Baratheon because right?
Is Joffrey a Lannister?
Joffrey is supposed to be Robert's son, remember?
But what's his last name?
Lannister. We call him, but you don't know this yet, of course. Throughout it just seems like we resigned to call him this. But that's neither here nor there because we're only on episode 1. So we're going to move forward with, how about Daenerys? Oh, one more thing. Again, Robert used to date this man's sister, and he still has the hots for her. And the other thing that we learned that is important in this particular scene or this particular set of scenes is that Robert does 2 things. Robert came in here and didn't ask Ned to be his first assistant, bro. He told him that was what he was going to do. And then also said that their firstborn should be married. Meaning Robert's oldest son,
but I don't think he forced him. Not forced, but he did ask him though. He asked him. He requested it, but he asked him. I don't think he was forcing him to do it
though. I don't know. He made it hard for him to say no. And we're going to come to the reason that he said no too, because later on we find something else out that made Ned change his mind a little bit too. Yeah, we might as well go through that now because after that we're going to go to where Daenerys is. So yeah, we learned that Robert, the man who Ned is taking someone's place. His name is Jon Arryn.
Yeah, Jon Arryn.
Yeah, Jon Arryn.
His
And we learned earlier that Cersei and Jaime, they know that they were happy that he's dead. So now it's somebody sent a raven or something. I can't remember how we found out.
It was Kat's sister.
Right. Sent a rate. Right. She sent it because she said she had to leave King's Landing and run back home because she doesn't believe that her husband died of natural causes, that she feels like somebody poisoned and killed him.
No, she said she knows.
Yeah, she did. And so when Ned hears this, because he's an old honorable guy, he kind of perks his ears up where he feels like
he got to protect Baratheon.
Yeah. And that he had, that he was.
And then when Jaime and Cersei was happy, it also shows that maybe they was behind him dying because they want the throne.
Because we had to go back to that conversation that they showed us way that was why it was good, right? With good direction in that way. So those are the two things that we learned. We learned that Sansa and Joffrey are they're betrothed per their parents. It's just something I guess Ned did agree to it. I don't remember how that went, but yeah, that's what we learned, that he's going to now be the king's hand over down to King's Landing, and that Sansa is supposed to marry Joffrey. So we're going to go on over to, you just used a great word too. I meant to tell you that. A different biome. We're going to go over this sea. I can't remember. So again, jump down in the comments if you want to let us know. Be nice. They went over to this island called Bentos. I wrote it down. Yeah, Bentos, where we meet Viserys and Daenerys. Thoughts?
Well, just kind of weird, the interaction. Yeah, but me, I already said what I think about them in the summary though. Like, it was just weird interaction. We don't know too much about them yet, except that what they did a little ceremony where they made the people they made them look like savages, and then
it's very uncomfortable.
But that's their culture though, so.
But it seemed like it was just savagery, just for sake. Sometimes savagery is not, but it just seemed a little bit overdone for me because it wasn't any. It was just no consequence, no rhyme or reason behind it. It was just let me sit here and watch It was just very off-putting, in my opinion. And also, like you said, we don't know a whole lot about these people per se yet. But I do know one thing for sure. I'm looking at the TV now. The Gargamel man is on he walked in the room when Kat and Ned were laying down to give him back. Yeah, this is listen, get down in the comments. This man that walked in and gave Ned and Kat, that's odd. He walked in while they were in their bedroom too. That's kind of weird. They walked in and gave him that.
He needed it. He needed to. It was urgent.
I mean, it was.
And she threw that joint right in the fireplace.
She sure did. So anyway, tell me that Gargamel man, what's his name? I think it's Maester Lewin or something. I don't know. Anyway, Daenerys, I don't know a whole lot about these people yet, but what I do know for sure is that I hate this Viserys. Even if I already hated them for the opening scene, but the worst thing was that he told her that he didn't care if every one of those Dothraki people had sex with his sister.
As long as he got to be king, that's not love.
To her face.
But she ain't know no better. He raised her, so yeah.
That was wild. Now, like I said, I don't know a whole bunch. And if you are into the lore, you might want to consult something else. But this is what I do know. And then I know that this primary character named oh my gosh, what is his name? He has a crush on Daenerys. And you see how I can't remember right now? Jorah. His name is Jorah. He's Jorah, and he's
the one who said he served her dad.
Yes.
Oh, you think he got a crush on her?
Because of the way he's looking at her. And again, I may be wrong. Again, he's very. And also, I also wonder who was this dude? I didn't think he was important at the time that I watched it the first time. But why did he just seemed to be out of place? How did he just show up there? Yeah, that was really weird.
So and he doesn't look like them either.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't
look like either set of these people.
He doesn't look like Dothraki or other people. I'm thinking maybe a spy, or maybe he's a mercenary. just out there. Maybe like a vagrant or something. I don't know. But
he was dressed
he claimed
in the
that he
though.
fought. He claimed that he fought for her dad.
Yeah, that's true.
And they do got the dragon eggs.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's the next person. That's the most important thing the next most important thing that we learn when we're there, which is on the screen right now. Daenerys gets 3 beautiful dragon eggs. What did you think about those eggs? Weren't they pretty? Yeah. They were so beautiful. They were so pretty. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Daenerys is sold off and she got some dragon eggs for her troubles. So final scene, when we think about that brand being pushed out the window.
I mean, I just summed it up perfectly. Like, I just needed to see if he died or if he didn't die. And we just see next episode.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got, y'all. So that's our summary. We hope you appreciated that. It was a little dense. Maybe it won't be as dense as this episode's progress because this episode was a lot of explaining. And we're just getting to know you guys. So, and you're just getting to know us. Hopefully you'll come back. So yeah, what the next section that I have for us to explore. Now listen, we all know Westeros can be a little bit messy, and there's always something going on. I mean, we like all the side conversations. I actually call this our MESSTEROS tea. So in our MESSTEROS tea section, we're going to talk about our MVPs, our LVPs, and our salacious, messy bestie. So I can start this out because I pretty much knew since I laid out the rules. So my MVP, I'm going to take my MVP. My MVP of this episode is Tyrion. Why might you ask? Tyrion speaks one of my love languages, which you might know is sarcasm, right? But he's so like the beauty of sarcasm is that you have to be smart and you have to be like quick on the uptake of things. And Tyrion he's all well read and everything because he knew in order for him to survive as an imp, he was going to have to find a way because he knew that Lannister money was only going to take him but so far. So yeah, Tyrion of this, and he's my MVP of this episode because I just like I said, his quippiness and his intelligence and his realness. Like it's real. He just.
Yeah. And then another thing, like when he was talking to Jon Snow, and they had their little conversation. Like he had just met him and he was talking about like he was a bastard. He didn't have no dad and not a real mom, but like
not in a judgmental way.
Yeah, because he also had shortcomings. No pun intended. He said like every imp is a
bastard
in their dad's eyes. And then I feel like him and Jon Snow can sympathize with each other in the future of the show. Like they can have some chemistry and something else. Like
and for we didn't see them a lot together but they did have good chemistry when they. I didn't think that's a good observation. They did. And the other thing was Jon seemed to absorb what he wasn't off put by him.
Because he was him. Like, he was really understanding of him. They was understanding of each other.
Yeah, it was, and that was pretty
Even
cool.
though Jon Snow kind of felt offended while he was Tyrion called him.
But when he logically thought about what he was saying, it was like
it made sense.
It made a whole lot of sense, and he could use it.
And you could see that on his face too.
Yeah, he looked like he resolved at that moment, right? Yeah, because when we go back to King's Landing, that's what we learn. Not King's Landing. When we go back to Winterfell, that's what we do learn. That Jon has an uncle that went to the Wall. I know I have to get back from my MVT. Jon has one uncle that went to the Wall. His name was Uncle Benjen. And a Wall, I guess, is some place that they go to protect their whatever is on the other side. We don't know what's on the other side. And usually people that go to the Wall, they're like people, like he said,
we know what's on the other side now.
Yeah, we do. But nobody believes him. So Jon Snow has resolved to go to the Wall. He got his uncle Benjen to ask his dad if he could go. Uncle Benjamin seemed to have resisted at first, but it seems as if he came to some type of, agreement with John. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. So yeah, going back to my MVP, Tyrion is definitely my MVP. Now we're going to go to my LVP, which is my least valuable person, like my low, like the scum of the earth. Just take a guess. We all know who it is. It's Viserys. Viserys is just nothing redemptive, just a scum, degenerate. Just his name, Viserys. That's it. That means a lot of things. Viserys is my LVP, always and forever. Like the Hall of Fame, if there ever was one. And coming down. Okay, well, let me let you go before we get to the messy Bessie. Who is your MVP?
MVP, I go Ned.
Ned?
Because if you think about it, the whole episode is about him. Like,
yeah,
they're there because they need him.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, he's faced with the choice to go.
Yeah,
everything's happening. It involves him. So,
no, that's
like
true.
He got to step up.
He's
already the king, so he got to step up.
That's true,
and also, he done cut somebody's head off already. He just got to step up.
You think that's the only head he cut off? Side note, people, this is not a spoiler, but they told us within this episode that Ned and Rob were at war together, traveling the world, cutting off heads and slaying. Getting it in with women, which is why Ned said that he brought that side baby home. I don't know what child. Ooh, that's rough.
Is Rob that much older than John?
That was what they never let us know that. I'm sure that the book readers and whoever the watchers can let us know, those who are really heavily involved. You can let us know that too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, your MVP is Ned Stark. Pretty good. Yeah. And Sean Bean is a great actor. He plays that part really, really well. He's so noble and cute. All right, what's your LVP?
LVP, I go Jamie for multiple reasons.
Jamie, what you got on Jamie?
Because, like, first of all, in the beginning, now I know that they're hiding something. So he said they knows something. They don't. He died, so nobody knows. Or maybe he told. So I know they're hiding a secret. That's already something I know. He's hiding a secret. And after that,
I'm looking at what he's doing. What this is really why you hate him right here.
Yeah. So this man gonna push a child off the roof, and like, bro, you smacking your sister, bro. Like that, bro. Come on now, like, you're so weird, bro. Like, yeah. Then I think it was another reason too. This man just an L overall. Like,
really, the Jamie Lannister hate is real. That's pretty cool. I mean, Jamie is a lot of people, most people in here, they're questionable at some given point in time. But yeah, Jamie is on your hit list. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, do you want me to do messy Bestie first, or do you want to go first?
Messy Bestie, like, who is the messiest?
Yeah, who you got on your mess? Like, just salacious kind of oof. Because this is going to get messy. Trust me, it's going to get really, really messy. And I just like that part because it's King's Landing. It's like not just King's Landing, right? It's always people whispering, and it's always giving shadiness and talking trash. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you got a shady. You want me to go first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll go first. Probably Kat. She'd probably be the shadiest to John. That's all I could think of. And she doesn't seem like she's the warmest person ever. So yeah. I'd probably go her.
And this thing about the shady person, the messy bestie is somebody you can like too. Like if they do something like, because as we travel
like Catherine like that.
Yeah, you don't have to like them, but you could just know that they did some shady shit. Because I mean, we know people like that. And this is the truth. Some shady people you kind of like, and some shady people you just be like, nah, I'm good on that. But then it's, they're entertaining at best, right? So my shady bestie, my messy bestie is this week is Cersei. Cersei, it's like her outfits for one, her demeanor for another thing, because she's always like permanently side-eyeing things. Like she's real slippery, but she's well spoken. But again, I guess sarcasm runs in the Lannister family.
Seems like she always thinking something.
Always, but she always got, like Tyrion, she got a snappy comeback for a lot of stuff. Because it's like, but again, it's the shadiness. Remember when her and Kat were sitting there talking, and then Sansa came up, and they were already having, you don't
like she'll do fair down there.
Yeah.
She'll be up here.
Right. But you don't necessarily know this because you haven't been in these circles yet around, like, even if you have a girlfriend or wife. This is like in those particular arenas, when women are kind of sitting there, especially when we're in like that, you're at a ball and your husband is there. You're probably having a little girl talk, and we're smiling a lot, but we're probably saying things about it. We're commiserating together, right? But you think that is what's happening between Catherine and Cersei, but that's not what's happening, because Cersei is shading everybody down to the ground.
Thanks.
And also, when Sansa walked up, she was like, "Oh, okay, like you're a cute little girl," and she called her pretty dove. She called her little dove. But then she topped this off with like, "Have you bled yet?" Cersei she is evil, but it's like watching evil be messy. So yeah. So that is our MESSTEROS tea segment. And now we're going to move on to the question of the pod. And this is Jake's little corner of the world where he gets to ask me and I get to ask him. Well, this is both of our parts. The next part is his. But I get to ask him just some type of Game of Thrones, something off the wall, just kind of a random question. He gets to ask me one, and I get to ask him one. Could be anything off the wall. Something simple or something deep. We'll learn about each other in this little segment. So my question of the pod for you is, and I think we already discussed it a little bit, you've met all 5 of the Stark children. This is just your first interpretation of the Stark children. And I like this because you've already been every single age minus the older ones. And you're coming upon that age of the older ones, right? So which one of these Stark kids do you identify with the most? Like your personality? Like who do you think?
Probably Bran. He's curious. Like to be running around doing stuff. Playing. Yeah.
I can see you being a
Bran.
I can see you being Bran. Not Jon Snow? You don't count Jon Snow though.
Yeah, I wouldn't count him.
You don't count Jon. Oh yeah, I did say 5. I did say 5 of the Stark kids. Yeah, definitely not Arya.
They should have had more of them though. I feel like they should have been like 10 Stark kids.
10 Stark kids? No,
like 7.
Cat ain't set up like that.
7 or 8 or something like that.
We good with, hell, we can't remember the little one that they
could have all had a wolf. They joined them hard.
Really? 7 Stark kids with 7 wolves? I don't know.
Or 8. Or 9 or 10.
Good Lord. No. Now, this was medieval times, so stranger things have happened. So, you got a question for me? It could be something that you, yeah.
I heard. Do you actually think Sansa and Joffrey gonna get married? Like,
I can't answer that that'd be too spoilery.
Oh yeah, you are. Oh, I was just saying, do you think? But yeah, you have already watched it. So. Oh, you need something that I'm gonna actually.
Just answer. It can be anything. Also, this like the kind of question I just asked you, or it could be something.
Like, okay, do you think?
You can ask me how I feel about something. You can ask me how, but you can't ask me something that I can't prognosticate because that's what you're going to have to do next. But you can ask me It could be an off the wall question. It could be like, what is your favorite direwolf? Anyway, it's a random Game of Thrones question to kind of an icebreaker
All right,
question.
who's your favorite character besides Tyrion?
Okay, that's a good question. Do they have? You mean as of now or in the
As
future?
of now.
Okay, as of now, my favorite character as of now, I like Arya. I like Arya
Because she's
because
different. Like she's not a traditional
it's
girl.
that, but I remember being very girly looking,
Like tomboyish.
but like I was more interested in the boy things. Like I liked now you see how crafty I am now. I like kind of like crafty, like candle making things, but all that sewing and like my mom was all in the sewing and frilly stuff. I was too, and I still am. But just like you see me now, I could do it, but I can't do that every day. And so, Arya's still a girl to me, though. She just is a non-typical girl, right? Some people would think that she's presenting as a boy. I don't think she's presenting as a boy. I just think she is an atypical girl. She's still a girl. I think she likes being a girl. She just doesn't like being that kind of girl. Facts. So yeah, I think Arya. I think Arya for now. Even now when I saw her, I just thought that.
Facts.
Okay, next part, predictions. You got any predictions?
I predict Ned is gonna go over there to King's Landing and a whole bunch of stuff is just gonna kick off. Like I feel like that's the start.
Woo! Gang, baby. Yup. It's about to be on and popping in these Westeros messy streets, baby. So that's a great prediction, and that's a great way for us to end our first inaugural show. Thank you, Jacob. Yay! Mm-hmm. When Jacob puts this together, he'll probably do. Maybe he'll be gracious and put us an applause in the back. I don't know. He's not really frilly like that. That'd be me, girl. Anyway, make sure you come back to see us on the next episode, which will, what is it? What's the next episode called? Give y'all a little what they call a teaser. Next episode will be episode 2 of season 1, which is called The King's Road. Make sure you guys come back and see us then. Jacob, you got anything else you want to let the people know?
Hit that like, comment, subscribe.
Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Like my baby.
Post notifications.
Did them notifications again. Y'all heard it. All that. All right, y'all. Listen, make sure y'all go ahead and in the meantime, go out there and love on somebody's mom. Go love on somebody's mom. And Jacob, guess what? I love you. You can't do anything about it. Neither one of us can.